War, on the other hand, is such a terrible thing that no one, especially a Christian man, has the right to assume the responsibility of starting it. Meaning, war actually has always been, for all it is, in its totality, in its entirety, the ultimate epitome of evil, injustice, inequality, unfairness, injustice, whatever else you want to add to it, you can add. But war, show that must always be held and considered as absolutely unacceptable, unjustifiable, unfair, and illegal by each and every one of ourselves in the world, and not just by our leaders, rulers, but the leaders and our rulers fight wars against others on the context or on the pretext of justice, equality, progress. That fighting the war is going to somehow bring progress, growth, learning, development, and more security into our nations, into our peoples. But the opposite quite actually happens ultimately and eventually. All we get is death, mayhem, and annihilation, or more and more of our people as well as of our resources in one way or another, because there is rarely anything good or progressive that happens or that comes through war except for the stability or security of the one people or the one country or society against another that's fundamentally hostile and dangerous and malicious in itself, because it might also be entertaining the intentions, deliberations, and purposes of other powerful polar countries that wants to harm the first country. So that's how this works. But ultimately, war brings evil to all homes in reality. War makes everyone suffer the pain, torment, suffering, struggle, and trauma for what it is, what it represents, and that it is the most heinous, dangerous, and evil creation of mankind, because war did not come into being all of a sudden or by itself from nature, but we invented war for our own purposes, ambitions, desires, malevolence, for the fulfillment, realization of our one sided, partial, dangerous, diabolical desires, ambitions, intentions, purposes for riches, exploitation, manipulation, dominance, oppression, etc. And for all that, we invented war, and we also fought war many times to the present. And all we have suffered and all we have seen is only death, and that we die in it, and not that we live more and more through it. So obviously, we had to first oppose, challenge, and object to that absolutely dangerous idea of war towards our leaders and rulers, no matter the kind of consequence or results we face for this kind of rejection and opposition. But we had to do this, otherwise, we are going to be at war unnecessarily and unreasonably.